Ladies and gentlemen, you might have seen him on TV. It's a great treat to bring him to you tonight. I want you to hook it up right now for Tom Simmons.
Oh my God.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Yeah. Happy birthday, 150 years, Canada. That's cool. Yeah, I gotta admit, somehow I thought you guys were older than that, to be honest. You know? Because almost every time I'm here, I get reminded of, you know that Canadians burnt down the White House? Yeah. See, everybody gets a little smile on their face when you say that. Could you do it again, please? We could really use your help. We have a crazy man in charge. I worried. You guys care about the world? Let's start there. You guys care? Yeah. 7 of you? Okay. That's all it takes, right? Just one person. One Joe. I don't know, man. I worry about it, right? I'm worried about the future. I have a little boy, so I'm worried about the future, you know? I want there to be a world for him, but I'm convinced that within his lifetime there's going to be some sort of major societal collapse that he's got to be prepared for. Right? So what I do to get him ready is every day I do nothing. I just hope I'm wrong. But I think he's starting to prepare himself, you know what I'm saying? He's watching these survival shows. He found this show on Netflix, Man vs. Wild. Don't you all know this show? Right? They take this guy, Bear Grylls, they drop him in a crazy survival situation, and then he lives off his own urine and insects for like a week. Right? So I go in, my boy's watching like his 3rd straight episode. Bear Grylls is carving a camel open to get in there for shelter for the night. It's like, oh, and you're just a little boy, dude. What do you need Man vs. Wild for, son? He's like, I don't know. Something crazy might happen like you're always talking about. So teach me how to survive in the wild. Like, dude, you couldn't even survive in this house if mommy didn't get you everything. Seriously, let me get a camera. We'll do boy versus his house. You'll be dead by the end of the weekend. And there is food in the refrigerator. Seriously, you're going to eat bugs to survive. Okay. Cracker, please, okay? We'll eat peanut butter and jelly if we don't cut the crust off for you first. But I love my boy, man. He's smart, right? I'm telling you, man, he predicted that Trump was going to win the presidency. You know what I'm saying? And he's in 5th grade. I didn't even know he knew who Trump was. We're sitting in the kitchen eating some macaroni and cheese. Trump's on 60 Minutes or something like a year and a half ago, right? He's not even the main candidate at the time. And my son hears Trump's name and his face just lights up. He's like, Daddy, Donald Trump. That guy should be president. What the fuck, honey? Is it too late to put him up for adoption? Dude, why would you say that? He's like, because he hates the government. I think that's what really was the ultimate motivation that swept Trump into office. He hates the fucking government, you know what I'm saying? So my son, good news, my son is a psychic with his finger on the pulse of the United States. And the bad news is fucking everything else. Yeah, my son used to say, Dad, I'm gonna go drop a deuce. Now he says, I'm gonna go take a Trump. So he's back in the family. People are like, I didn't vote for Trump because I like Trump. I voted for Trump because I hate Hillary. That's the excuse everybody uses. I hate Hillary, which is fine, but if you hated Hillary, you should have voted for her, jackass. Okay? What would be better than to make her go to work every day in the office where her husband cheated on her, you know? Be a nice little... So on both sides here, the liberals in California were all in LA, they're all out protesting all through the streets after the election, which is cool to see, but she won by like 2 million votes in California. Why don't you move your ass back to Nebraska and vote? How about that? The rest of the world is suffering because you want to be an actor. I don't think it's a coincidence that America's first Twitter president is a man of limited character, all right? Been dropping bombs the last couple days or whatever, you know? It's It's so weird, you know. And you know that Trump's disappointed that he didn't actually get to press the button, right? The mother. That's why I got a call from my mom last week. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah. Why?" She's like, "Well, we're at war." We are not at war. I am in Canada. Mother of all bombs. Well, that's such a funny name for, not funny, but whatever. It's kind of, you know, people are like, you shouldn't joke about it. Well, it's a fucking funny name, Mother of all bombs. You know? Play the dozens with it, you know what I mean? You guys know playing the dozens? Right? Where it's like, it's basically yo mama jokes, right? Like, your mother of all bombs is so fat. They had to open both bombardier doors. What did you say about my mother of all bombs? Your mother of all bombs so fat, halfway down, she had to stop and take a breather. So you get the point, right? I don't remember them, but I got a bunch of them. I'm going to read them to you right now. Your mother of all bombs is so fat, the guy dropping her had to eat cake. When she blows up around the house, she blows up around the house. Your mama of all bombs so fat, she went cuh over Afghanistan and boom over Pakistan. She hit the ground. Jelly filling shot out, all right? Her mushroom cloud was a cupcake. This bitch is fat. The plane that dropped her let out a sigh of relief. Even the deployment sled has stretch marks. Your mama of all bombs. That plane had to deliver her via C-section. She had to use a triple XL GPS. Tom Thumb said, "What?" Yes, that's all. I'll turn that into jokes later. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm a non-violence guy. My son's got it made, right? He doesn't even realize how lucky he has it as a little boy, all right? Because he's had a dad his whole life who believes in non-violence. You test that shit all the time. I don't know if you have kids, but it's amazing, right? The whole day can turn around. Everybody's happy, the sun is shining down, laughter's in the air, and then that little fucker won't put his shoes on. Like, it's hard, right? Martin Luther King had kids. He was committed to nonviolence. I want to know how he did it. Like, let's go, put your shoes on or we are marching. They won't eat their vegetables again, Coretta. Grab the picket signs. Here we go, around the kitchen. Eat your peas. Eat your peas. Give peas a chance. It's funny, right? I like coming to Canada. I was surprised you guys don't like us, right? I thought you did. I know, I'm surprised by that. But I gotta tell you something, Toronto, I've been to a lot of places in Canada, and Toronto seems like the most American city. So y'all are like, it seems like everywhere we go, people are like, fuck Toronto, you know what I mean? Like, so you guys are like the America of Canada. We're all a little bitter about you guys, you know what I'm saying? We're rooting against your hockey team, whatever, you know? Which is what I found. That's what I found. Like when I used to come out, I was like, man, you know, in the United States, if we lose the World Cup in hockey or we lose in the Olympics, we root for Canada next. You guys are our brothers. I was like, they'd probably do the same shit for us. It took me about one visit to realize you guys would rather Iraq win than us. You know what I'm saying? Dude, we don't want to visit the United States. You guys are losing your minds down there, Tom. Every time you turn on the news, people are shooting each other in the streets. You got to worry about a terrorist or a bomb exploding. And then it occurred to me, you know what? That's just a terrible image for my country to be portraying to the rest of the world. And then I was like, you know what? You know, that's a really sneaky anti-immigration policy. Built up by our media, you know what I'm saying? We need to crank that shit up more, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's immigrating to Syria. We need to do, you know what I'm saying? No need to build walls at the borders. We just need to keep shooting each other at the mall every couple of months. Freaking the world out. I actually figured out how if I was a terrorist, I would kill American people, right? Thought about this while I was Christmas shopping. Here's how I would do. I would hang out in the food court at the mall and pass out little pieces of poisoned chicken on a toothpick, right? Here is some General Kapow chicken. This is the bomb right here. This is the mother of all chicken sandwiches. People will be thanking me as I killed them. How cool is that? Comedy Central wouldn't let me do that joke on television either. They're like, that's not a joke, Tom. That's like a military strategy. What the hell's going on? Like somebody would do that, see a comedian and be like, what a great idea. Start the chicken on a toothpick flu pandemic. I wish people did listen to comedy. If that was true, I would keep preaching nonviolence, right? That is the most powerful weapon we have as human beings, is nonviolence, right? No war has ever ended war. It'll just kill us all eventually if it doesn't work. Nonviolence worked. It worked in Egypt, right? Gandhi freed all the people in India. Pakistan with nonviolence. Martin Luther King helped end brutal terrorism in the South with nonviolence. Shit. If the Afghanis really want us out of that country like they say they do, and 150,000 of them marched non-violently on the base, we'd be gone in a month. When I was over there performing in 07, I was performing for both our troops and your troops, right? And they were telling me, I was talking to the colonel one day. I was like, Colonel, what would you guys do if they massively marched non-violently on this base? And he goes, well, let's just thank God people don't think that way. Because we'd have to shoot them, you know what I mean? Shoot them. And then they were strict about what we couldn't talk about to the troops, right? I was doing some jokes about religious extremists that kill for no reason. I was like, this is the perfect place to do this. No, sir. Sergeant goes, Tom, you did some jokes about Muslims that show? No more jokes about Muslims while you're here in Afghanistan. Like, really? We can hunt and kill them for 10 years, but I'm not allowed to tell a couple jokes about them. And he goes, well, we are guests in their country. Guests. Wow, you really are well trained, man. Can I drop a joke from a drone on a village or something? Like, knock, knock, who's there? Not you anymore. Killing me. And civilians, whatever. And then people get mad, they're like, you're anti-troop. I'm not anti-troop, right? I respect and admire all people that sacrifice their families and all that shit and go serve, but you know what? I have a little boy, I don't want there to be war in the future, and I don't trust the governments that these fuckers work for. Right? These are the liars that are corporate states sending our children off to die for this shit. I don't want my son involved in that. I remember watching Obama a couple years ago. He was talking about the NFL. He was like, if I had a little boy, I don't think I would let him play football because I have serious concerns about the injuries. And I remember watching that, like, you know what? I have similar concerns about my son playing in your military. I don't trust them. I don't think they have the people's best interests at heart, and I don't, you know. It's just the truth. Were any of y'all surprised that the governments had access to all your information? Nobody was, right? Except the U.S. media. They're like, holy shit, how'd that happen? And Obama, who I voted for, his response was, yes, we've been listening. We're going to continue to listen on a limited basis. You're just going to have to trust us. Right? If you can't trust your government, then we got a problem. Okay, we got a fucking problem. I don't trust them. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, the IRS, the KKK, the GOP, whatever. If you have 3 letters in your initial, fuck you. I sue the only 3-letter group I'm down with from this point on is OPP. That's it. I'm down with OPP. You know me. Maybe AAA if I like my keys in my car. That's it. But you know what? It's actually a good thing to know that the government's listening, because now we know anytime we want to speak directly to the government, all we got to do is say ISIS while we're talking on our cell phones. You're like, ISIS, I don't like what you're doing with healthcare. We need to dirty bomb the Super Bowl. You need to build a monorail in Phoenix. That patriotism is built in, right? Y'all have it too. You don't have as much as us, but you got it. You know what I mean? It's built in from like being a kid. We're always about supporting the troops, right? Always, it's just built in. Like you get on an airplane, the Delta pilots always give it up for the troops, and everybody claps, and I feel a little uncomfortable. You know what? Because they're good people, but they're not all good people, right? There was 26,000 reported sexual assaults in the U.S. military last year, right? And there was a big percentage in your military too. So hey, give it up for the troops. Or they will force you to, apparently. Just saying. 26,000. That's a huge number. They need to add an avoid rape part to the obstacle course in basic training. You know what I'm saying? March around. I don't know what you've been told, but this raping shit is getting old. Get off. She said no. See? That's how you do a rape joke, Russell Peters. Okay, you take the side of the victim. It's a side. I like Russell. He's fine. It's just people are like, you can't do jokes about that. Yeah, you can. You just gotta move it right. I don't know, man. Patriotism is built in. I see it in my son already, right? He's, like I said, now he's in 6th grade. He actually asked me a couple weeks ago, he's like, Daddy, do I have to do the Pledge of Allegiance every day? Right? Because we start the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm like, well, son, unless you got a good reason, isn't that how you start your day? He's like, well, I've been pledging my allegiance to the flag every day for 6 years. Doesn't the flag get it? Yep, that's to drill into your head, little man. But I was proud when he said that, you know what I mean? Not because he's anti-patriotic, but that he's questioning, you know? I love that. I want my son to question everything. Except for me, I don't have time for that. It's funny, he's got a great sense of humor, but he doesn't always get my sense of humor. I'm riding with him in the car, and one of those guys is out like in a chicken soup out on the side of the road, you know? He's spinning like a big 50% off there or whatever. One looks up and he's like, Daddy, what's he advertising? College. So I'm laughing, right? I'm like, remember that. I gotta write that down for my act. Because I don't get that. Why is that funny, college? Because if he went to college, he wouldn't be out there spinning that sign. That's why. He goes, you're not as funny as Brian Regan, Daddy. No. I'm like, well, that's all right. You're not as good as your buddy Zach at baseball. I don't know, man. Like I say, I'm trying to figure out a way to be informed and have hope. I don't know if any of you are like that. It's weird, because the stuff I worry about is the stuff that we all agree on, right? No matter what party you're in, no matter what country you're in, it seems like the answer everybody has is growth, right? We gotta have more growth, we gotta grow more, we gotta consume more, and meanwhile, we live on a planet of finite resources, so eventually, we run into the laws of the universe and we're all fucked by that plan. I mean, we should live on this planet like it's the only one we have. Elon Musk like, we can terraform Mars. Really? Imagine what we could do with this planet. The planet's already fighting back, if you think about it. It started like a few years ago in like a coordinated effort, right? The first wave was the shark attacks. They got like 5 of us down south. Yeah. Then the mosquitoes started giving us encephalitis, and the birds got the flu, and the cows got mad, then the peanut butter and the broccoli was after us. Then Chipotle's getting in the game. You know what I mean? It's crazy. People were dying of heat in the United States last year. What the fuck? How do you die of heat in the United States of America? Open your refrigerator, you jackass. You don't live in the Sudan. Go to a movie theater. Take a shower. It is Easter, you guys. I grew up in the South. My grandfather was super religious, right? He had a huge cross that he would burn in the neighbor's yard. It was awesome. He's like dressed up like an angel. He's like a prophet. Obviously, I'm kidding, right? Racists are dumb, right? Racists hate to read. I think it's obvious that racists hate to read by how dumb they are, right? I think I figured out why they hate to read. It's because it's black words on a white page working together in peace. Yeah. That's the weirdest reaction to that joke. So we got white guilt. I'm part Lebanese, so I got just enough Lebanese blood in me to wash away all my white guilt. Like, yeah, I'm a Lebanese American, right? So the Lebanese in me is very passionate and quick to anger. And the American in me isn't really sure where Lebanon is. We're from the South, right? And everybody just assumes as Southerners that we're racist, that we're not. There's a lot of us that aren't, you know what I mean? It's fucking, we're just, you know, but we still get that. We gotta defend our own shit against our own idiots, you know? Like the rebel flag down there. People are like, that flag, hey, that's not what it means to me. I'm sorry that means something else to other people. That's not what it means to me. I'm a rebel. Like, all right, I get that, all right? Because, you know what, my Nazi flag, right, that just really represents how much I like rocket science and record people. Sorry, it means something different. Like, that flag ain't about hate. Well, the South doesn't need a flag that represents racism and ignorance, okay? Our voting record fucking covers that. You know, and we're going too far. We're oversensitive sometimes. You know, as liberals, we get oversensitive. They actually re-edited Mark Twain's anti-slave classic, Huckleberry Finn. Right? They re-edited it. They took out the N-word. They replaced it with the word slave so they could make it less offensive. Well, that's not less offensive. Slavery ended in 1865. Huck Finn wasn't even written until 1884. What's worse, to use the N-word or to add 20 years to slavery? Yeah. Mark that one down as joke that would be funnier if a black comic told it, all right? You can bet your ass that Chris Rock was up here like, what is worse, to use the N-word or to add 20 years to slavery? You should do a better Chris Rock, that's fun. It's just interesting, you know? I actually started comedy in an all-black comedy club in Atlanta, right? Like that, they do. Kenny Robinson does a Nubian show here. That's like an urban night. You know what I mean? You should come to it. It's fucking. I can't even explain to you. White people, y'all are cool. All y'all, mixed races all through this place. But I'm telling you, black people laugh better than you. Okay? Right? Black people laugh with their soul. You know what I mean? Like in a group. Like, no, he did it. Like a few women are like, that boy's stupid. Oh, warms your soul like I can't explain. If it's not going well, holy shit. Y'all are a lot better. You know what I'm saying? You're like, maybe that last joke was my fault. I should know Calvinism. Whatever. Yeah, black audiences don't fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like, boo, motherfucker, boo! Well, get your ass off stage. What's that shirt? Extra medium? I don't even know what that means. That's why I've never had sex with a black woman. It's not that I'm not attracted. I'm very attracted. I'm just too worried I'm going to get booed off the pussy. You know what I mean? In the middle of my shit, she's all, boo, cracker, boo! Get your ass off me. Your whole sex tape could be on Vine, motherfucker. What's that dick, an extra medium? Regardless, we gotta come together, everybody. You gotta love. That's the answer, right? All the greats agree. That's what we gotta do. All of them agree that love's the answer. All Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Dave Matthews, fucking all of them say it, right? Love everybody. I want to love everybody, but motherfucker, have you met everybody? Everybody makes that hard, you know? Jesus never sat in traffic. That is good. It's easy to love your neighbor when he's 3 sheep fields away. I think that's why they did that commandment back in the day. It was easier, you know what I'm saying? Have you seen Jimmy? No, I haven't seen him in weeks. Fucking love that guy. So this show, you guys, a lot of people come up from all of our country. They'll try their side on comedy is to tell you what they know and what you don't know. You know what I mean? We're trying to come at it from the angle of, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. And we're going to laugh. Humanity's going down the drain. And we're just going to laugh at him as we slip on the banana peel. But we really love this, man. You guys have been a great crowd for us to kick this tour off with. And the guy coming on the stage right now is amazing. You're going to love him, you guys. He's tearing up the Fringe Comedy Festival circuit. He got a bunch of awards in Edmonton, down in Orlando, and he's really one of my favorite comics in the United States. You guys are going to love this guy. Give it up for Stewart Huff, you guys.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Tom Simmons right there. Funny guy, Tom Simmons. We're all happy to be in Canada. I am the most southern of the three of us. Yeah, people in Canada have been pointing that out. I start talking to people and they start giggling. They're like, say something else. I'm like, how you doing? Actually, I had a guy, we were doing radio to promote this show, right? And he said to me, say something else in Southern. It's not a language, it's just half of English. I was like, I don't know how you say something in Southern. I like to fuck pigs. He was right, it's the dumb accent, right? The Southern one's the dumb one. It's interesting growing up in the South, being a liberal. It's, even my family, I just have to sit there and keep my mouth shut. Like, fuck, I hate you. Crossing the border makes me feel good. Tom and I drove up, right? And the border guard said, he's looking at my passport. He said, what is your reason for entering Canada? I said, well, we're comedians and we're doing a tour. And he looked at my passport and he goes, you're from Kentucky? I said, yes, sir. And he goes, what do you think about Mr. Trump? And I said, I am not a fan. And he goes, welcome to Canada. I said, that's it? Like, that's all the questions you're going to ask me? And he goes, you are not a threat. Beautiful, yeah. Makes you feel at home, I think the biggest difference between the U.S. and Canada is hatred, It's the biggest difference, as soon as I cross the border, my chances of being shot drop by 97.8%. It's amazing, especially where I'm from in the South. I do shows all over the South, every wrestling match and Moose Lodge I can possibly do. Right? And that's one thing I need to point out about this show, my portion of the show. It wasn't written for you, all right? It was not written for open-minded, thinking humans. Right? Yeah, it was not written for this. My show was written specifically to go into bars in the middle of shitholes and convince people not to fucking hate each other. That's the reason I wrote this shit. So when I'm doing it, looking at you guys, you're like, I already know this. What the fuck's he talking about? It's the biggest difference in the South and Canada is hatred, Yeah. Religion, homosexuality is, I've been punched twice on stage. Yeah, I had a guy in Arkansas shit on my car. I'm not lying. He got kicked out of the bar and he found my vehicle in the parking lot and he took a dump on my fucking car. And to be honest with you, I kind of respected the man, That's a level of dedication. A lot of people hate other people. How many of us are shitting on each other's cars? I got punched in Macon, Georgia. One of my sisters is a lesbian, right? And I donated sperm to her and her wife so they could have a baby. Yeah, I'm a fucked up Uncle Baby Daddy. I have a daughter niece. How weird is that? I have a damn daughter niece, right? Yeah. So I was telling a story about it in Macon, Georgia, right? And I'm on stage and I hear, faggot! I'm like, what? And I turn around, a guy had come on stage and he punched me in the face. And it's hard to fight back when you're laughing. It's so stupid. Faggot! I was in Cleveland, Ohio recently, right? And I was telling a story about a friend of mine, transgender friend of mine, right? And a guy yelled at me. This is what he yelled. He goes, Jesus Christ does not believe in transgender people. I was like, holy shit. I said, wow, I've met Jesus' interpreter. Boy, there's not a lot of them around. Isn't that a ridiculous thing to yell at a comedian? Jesus Christ, I don't believe in transgender people. Let's leave this right over here. Let's just leave that sentence right over here, okay? Because we're going to come back to it. Right, let's go over here and compare and contrast. You guys remember that from elementary school? Let's apples and oranges this shit, okay? Right now at my home, I'm happy to tell you I have a 17-month-old baby boy, all right? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited, you know? It's the only child I have that has nothing to do with my sister, you know? And I should have told you guys, it was my sister's wife who was pregnant, not my sister. I'm Kentucky. I'm not that fucking Kentucky. Just in case anybody's still wondering. So I have a little boy at home. My favorite thing to do on this planet, and I'm not exaggerating, my favorite thing to do right now is to watch that kid's face when he sees something new. He's so fucking excited about this world. He wakes up and he freaks the fuck out. He points and looks at me like, "Are you seeing this shit?" Right? And I have to be like, "Yes, son, that's a spaghetti strainer shaped like an armadillo. I know how cool it is. That's the reason I bought it." You know? Being around the joy of an infant is incredible to me, right? I gave him a plastic hinge to play with. Fucking blew his mind. 20 minutes, he's like, "Oh, oh, 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 oh." And I'm just watching him thinking, well, it is a pretty cool invention, you know? I guess before hinges, we were all just stuck in rooms. You know? Watching my child love our universe is reminding me why being alive is a damn good idea. I gave him watermelon. He's never tasted watermelon. He's sitting at my kitchen table, he's all fat and naked, just sitting there. Right? I took a little piece of watermelon, put it in his mouth, he peed. He just started pissing at the table. I've never seen a human being chew and urinate simultaneously. And it reminded me how good watermelon really is. So, the question you and I are going to attempt to answer tonight is this. How do we go from that level of curiosity, that level of bliss and awe about this amazing universe, to thinking you know the thoughts of Jesus Christ? How does the human brain close? It's a big question, is it not? Fuck it, let's take a swing at it. What's the worst that could happen? You shit on my car? Go ahead. I got Rain-X. Fuck it. We got to start with beliefs, right? My son is more open-minded right now than I am. He has no beliefs at all. He has emotions. That's all he's got right now. He's happy, sad, he's poopy, he's tired, right? He loves Mexican restaurants. My son freaks out whenever we pull up to a Mexican restaurant, right? He gets so excited. The Hispanic culture has bright, vibrant colors, you know? The music is so upbeat and happy. The saddest Mexican song in the world has 10 trumpets and 14 maracas. Right? And I carry him in, and as soon as we open that door, he's like, I'm excited, right? He has no opinion on immigration. He doesn't have an opinion on immigration. He's 17 months old. I haven't taught him yet that we divided the land up into little bitty sections and we judge each other depending on which section you happen to be born in. How am I going to teach something so idiotic to a child? Right? How am I going to teach a child that's the way some adults in the U.S. behave, you know? I'm going to teach my son that no human being chooses where we're born. We do not get to make that choice. I was born in Kentucky. I wasn't a fucking chosen. Fuck, I didn't choose to be born in that shithole. What the hell? Right? We don't get to choose where we're born. So judging another human being based on that fact alone is an incorrect way of thinking. That is what... Yeah, you got... I told you guys, when I do my act here in Canada, you guys are like, indeed, that is correct. Right? You immediately start applauding. You know, come on. All over Alabama, they're just like this. That's what I'm going to teach my son. Judging another human based on where they're born is an incorrect way of thinking, you know. My father-in-law, on the other hand, totally different asshole. I love the man, but no, I don't. I gotta be honest, I'm trying hard to love this man, but it's hard to love a racist, you know what I mean? You gotta dig deep to love a racist. God, he's a piece of shit. He's going to teach my son that the damn dirty Mexicans are the reason he's missing a finger. That's the way he says finger. Finger. Right? Yeah, he's missing his ring finger, my father-in-law, and he thinks it's the Mexican's fault. I swear to God. He walks around my house going, hey, hippie boy. That's what he calls me. He's like, hey, hippie boy, you want to learn some shit? Put that book down. Come listen to me. You see this? Mexicans. That's all this shit is. The damn Mexicans took my finger. And I argue with him. I'm like, look, buddy, it is not the Mexicans' fault that you drank 17 Coronas. And it's certainly not the Chinese fault that a firework went off in your damn hand. You lit the fuse and then threw the lighter. That's what happened to his finger. He was drunk as shit and he threw the lighter and blew his finger off. And he thinks it's the Mexican's fault. And no words out of this hippie mouth are going to make him change his mind. It doesn't matter what I say. That's what he believes in his heart. Boy, once a human being really gets a hold of a belief, it will take forever and a free t-shirt to get us to change our damn mind. My father-in-law will not let go of that belief, you know. I met a woman in Ocala, Florida, who believes Mary Magdalene appeared to her in a pork chop. Mary was Jewish. I think what you got there is a non-kosher apparition. It's amazing how tight human beings hold on to a belief. Evidence does not change a closed mind. It just pisses it off. That should be on our flag. That should be on the U.S. flag. Evidence pisses us off. I was on a plane. I'll never forget this plane ride. God, I hated it, right? I squeeze into my seat. Gentleman sitting next to me is reading the paper. Headline says, Texas flooding, global warming, question mark. This dude goes, oh, fuck. Look at this bullshit. Global warming, it's a big damn lie. Just made up by the liberals, just to piss me off. Every single tax dollar spent on science is a waste of money. It's a waste of money. You don't spend tax money on science. Science ain't never done one thing for one human ever. I'm thinking, we're on a plane. Is it me, Canada? Be honest. Am I expecting too much out of my country? Are my expectations too high? You can't hate science. You can't hate science and love NASCAR. NASCAR without science is called running. 3 hours I'm on a plane with a grown man, a voter. Hello. Who's bitching to me about science? At some point I just started giggling. It was so childish of him, you know? I pictured him standing in front of the periodic table. Just... This is all bullshit. It's all made up by the liberals just to piss me off. Fluorine, uranium, carbon, potassium. These are Dr. Seuss words. Shit ain't real. That's probably my favorite joke in this show. I like that joke, right? Yeah. I'll tell you why I like it. Because fluorine, uranium, carbon, and potassium spell fuck on the periodic table. Did you know that? Potassium's K, right? Yeah. You know what, my friends, if he would have said to me, you know what, I've read a lot about global warming, and I do not think that our behavior is affecting it. That's a conversation. I disagree with you, but that's a conversation. Science ain't never done one thing for one. What the fuck, you're wearing bifocals. I'm a fan of science. I always have been, even as a kid. I finally figured out why I like science so much. Human beings did not build this world. We didn't build it. So we are trying to figure out how it works. That's fascinating to me, you know? It's a puzzle. Science is a search for answers. And that's controversial to closed minds. Because closed minds think they already know all the fucking answers. If you're certain that you know something, and a scientist comes along with evidence proving you dead wrong, that'll piss you right off. If you know for a fact that the aurora borealis is a trail of pixie dust left over from a sky unicorn? And you know that because that is what your grandmother told you. And a scientist comes along with made-up liberal words like magnetosphere and solar wind. At this point, you either have to humbly admit that you were wrong or kill the scientist. And everybody in this room knows enough history to know which one of those options humans prefer. Especially in the States. We do not like to admit we're wrong. In the United States of America, we'd rather kill a scientist than to actually admit we're wrong. Joseph Priestley, he was a scientist from England. He was also a preacher. He discovered oxygen. Well, he shouldn't have done that. He should have known. Don't you be going around discovering shit. A church-fueled mob. Isn't that an amazing sentence? It's a mob fueled by church. I don't even know how you get a church-fueled mob. What the fuck? Did they not read the book? You know, it says in this book we should love and accept everybody. I agree with that, except for that asshole that says the air exists. Joseph he discovered oxygen, right? He basically said, hey guys, this is something. 40 human beings with torches went, the fuck it is. They went to kill the dude. He heard them coming and he ran out his back door and escaped. They were so pissed they burnt his laboratory to the ground. Then they went to his home and burnt his home to the ground, which is hilarious because for a fire you need... No amount of anger will change the truth. It does not matter how pissed off we are. We didn't build this world. We cannot redneck gravity to death. We've been killing scientists since the beginning of time. They challenge the way we believe. They challenge our belief systems, right? In the year 925, a medical doctor from Baghdad named Razzies, fascinating dude, he thought it'd be a great idea to collect all the known medical knowledge from all over the world and compile it into one book. Well, he shouldn't have done that shit. He should have known. Don't you be going around compiling shit. I'm going to stand like this till all you fucks laugh. That's funny as hell. Don't you be going around compiling shit. Oscar Wilde said if you're going to tell people the truth, you better make them laugh or they'll kill you. Yeah, I know. Apparently Razzie's book wasn't fucking funny. He should have had some cartoons in there or something. He should have written fart on every page. A court of law convicted him of heresy and ordered him beaten with his own book. If you didn't laugh at that, you ain't got no dark comedy in you. He got beaten with his own book. What the hell? I hope he had a chapter in there on book wounds. We've been killing scientists since we came down from the trees. It would not shock me to learn that is the reason we came down from the damn tree. There was a scientist on the ground. Look at that asshole. Fucking petri dish. Let's kill him. 1619, Lucilio Vanini. He was an Italian philosopher, right? He wrote a book suggesting. We all know the definition of the word suggesting, right? That means, hey guys, what do you think? He wrote a book suggesting that perhaps human beings might be related to monkeys. What? Should have known. You should have known. Don't you be going around suggesting shit. We convicted him of heresy and burned him at the stake. Yeah, we have carefully considered your suggestion. And we violently oppose it. Isn't that mind-blowing? We burned a dude to the stake because he made a suggestion in a book. That is extremely monkey-like behavior. It's amazing to me that the states are still arguing about teaching evolution. 5 states last year in my country refused to teach evolution in public schools. Fucking 5. It's exhausting to be around idiots. It's exhausting to me. I'm so tired. You know what I mean? Yeah. God. It's amazing. I met a guy came up to me after the show, right? And he was yelling at me. He was going, the evolution, he doesn't believe in it, right? So I asked him, I said, why don't you believe in evolution? He goes, look, man, I've been to the damn zoo. I've seen the monkeys. They don't act anything like we do. That is the wrong way to look at evolution. Don't look to monkeys for human traits. Look to humans for monkey fucking traits. It's a lot clearer, is it not? Do construction on the interstate. Bring 3 lanes down to 2. You watch the fucking monkeys. Even in polite Canada, we lose our minds in construction. Can scratch all tickets or floating in the damn air. A group of students at Yale, this is my favorite study that I read last year, Yale University, they taught monkeys how to use money, right? They had monkeys, they gave each monkey a stack of coins, and they had grapes. And they taught them, if you want a grape, you have to buy it with a coin. First thing that happened, one of the monkeys stole all of the fucking money. Right? Just like us. Right? And the other 99% were pissed. You guys can look that study up. You'll laugh. I laughed reading the whole thing. It's hilarious. As soon as within 3 minutes of monkeys knowing how to use money, the first female monkey prostitute was invented. It took 3 minutes. I know. You guys gotta read it. It's hilarious. One of the female monkeys figured out within 3 minutes, I do not need a coin to get a grape. Amazing. You put 100 monkeys in a room with 100 typewriters, eventually one of them will write Shakespeare. It's the wrong way to look at evolution, I think. You put 100 humans in a room, eventually we'll all start masturbating and throwing our poop. As soon as that cell phone battery dies. I'm gonna need something to play with. I'm obsessed with our education system in the States. That's what I think the root of the biggest problem is I have a public Kentucky education. Do you have any idea how fucking dumb I am? Shit, we're 53rd in the country. Let me tell you how good your education system is, okay? I just did a joke that required you to know how many states are in a country you don't fucking live in? And 92% of you got it like that. And the other 8% are too drunk to get anything. My wife is a teacher. She's a history teacher, right? I just talked to her before the show, right? She got another email last night from a parent. They're very worried about what she's teaching in history class. They don't want their kids to learn anything horrific. Well, fuck. Let's just cancel class. Have you guys read history? I mean, holy cat dicks. I mean, how are we going to teach kids what happened in the past without being horrific? That's impossible to do. Are we going to teach kids the truth about Thanksgiving? Genocide is a touchy subject. Fuck it, let's just make some hand turkeys, you know? It's annoying how much we lie in history class in the States. I don't know how it is here in Canada, but in the United States, it's just so many lies. We made up the lie that George Washington cannot tell a lie to teach kids not to fucking lie. What the hell is wrong with us? Right now, the state of Texas is trying to change the word slaves in their history books to the word workers. That's true. They're trying to change slaves to workers. Why don't we just change the word history to the word bullshit? Right? Yeah. The United States of America is ashamed of our past. So instead of confronting it and teaching kids what not to do, we're just ignoring it and lying about it. How are we going to fix problems unless you admit what you've done wrong, you know? That's the reason I think horrific truths are important to learn. The things I've done in my life that I'm ashamed of, they'll never happen again. I regret my behavior. In other words, I fucking learned. That's what education is, isn't it? When we tell a little kid a story that makes them go, oh, that's bad. Exactly. Don't fucking do it again. 1640, Uriel da Costa, very religious man, Uriel da Costa. He spent his entire life trying to find a church that he agreed with. He was a persnickety bastard, I'll give him that. He was picky as shit. Uriel said, I do not want to just go to church and feel good about going. I want to feel a church in my heart. That's fucking amazing. And he didn't just go around his city. He went to 5 different countries in 1640. Can you imagine getting on a ship, sailing for 3 months, walking into a church like, nope. That's dedication. I want this man's dedication. Finally, Uriel came to his belief that you do not need church to ascend to heaven. And he said so out loud. What? He shouldn't have done that. He should have known you can't be going around saying shit out fucking loud. A preacher gave him 39 lashes with a bullwhip during a church service and then ordered the congregation to trample his ass. What the fuck? I can't even imagine such a church. I've been to a snake handling church in Mississippi and it was not that fucking weird. Can you imagine being in church? Remember our sermon for today? Love thy neighbor. This is the greatest of all our Lord's commandments. Now close your hymnals. We are going to beat the fuck out of Uriel. Then we're going to have some fried chicken. It is all through history. That's what being a heretic is. Questioning, right? Saying things out loud. 1660, Mary Dyer. She was a Quaker from England. She came to the United States of America for religious freedom. What? She shouldn't have done that. She should have known you can't be looking for freedom in the land of the fucking free. That's another lie that we're taught in school, that our country was set up for religious freedom. It is a lie. It was set up to make money. That's it, right? It was illegal to be a Quaker in Boston. It was against the law to be a Quaker in Boston. We arrested Mary, marched her through town with 200 armed guards and 4 drummers. Holy shit. Do we know how to throw a killing or what? 4 fucking drummers. The Grateful Dead only had 2 drummers. Can you imagine? We marched Mary up a scaffold and hanged her till she was dead for being a Quaker. Don't you be coming around here with your peaceful, non-violent, oatmeal ways. It is all through history. You guys think maybe the Big Bang was an accident? Most explosions are. At one point we were singularity. That's what scientists believe. Just a little point of energy, beautiful, gorgeous harmony, no racism, no sexism, then some fucking meth head lit a cigarette. You guys want to do the worst one? Let's do it. Yeah, Toronto's for it. This is a show I wrote, right? It's that guy on the plane. I didn't write that joke. He was so mad. He hated science, you know what I mean? And I thought in my head, boy, I bet I could find examples of human beings killing other people, not for hurting someone, but just for writing something, saying something, or thinking something, right? From BC to now, all right? And I would love to stand up here and tell you it took me months, about 20 minutes. All you got to do is Google killed for beliefs. No group is innocent. There is no innocent group. Right? We've all done it. Every group's done it, right? So I built this show, and they're going in chronological order, right? I don't have time to do the whole thing tonight, but, you know, they go from B.C. all the way up to earlier this evening, you know? Yeah. So anyway, this is the death that I've gotten the most complaints about, right? So let's do it. 1689, Kazimierz. He was a Polish philosopher and a freethinker. Fuck me, he's a dead man. That's the trifecta right there. You're a philosopher, a freethinker, and fucking Polish? That's unassisted suicide. Discovery Channel claims the most dangerous job in the world is crab fisherman. Have you seen that show? It's called Deadliest Catch. I think it's on Discovery Channel. At the beginning of it, they say, this is the most dangerous job in the world. Bullshit. Historically, the most dangerous thing you can do, free thinking. It's the most dangerous thing there is. You know, I've been thinking. Not free? Fuck no! Shut up. I've been thinking what they tell me to. Casimir, she was a philosopher, right? He wrote a big-ass book. That's what philosophers do. Either that or pretend to be comedians, whatever. There's no more philosophy clubs, right? Yeah. In this book of his that he wrote was this sentence: God did not create man, man created God. Well, did he not have whiteout? You do not write that sentence on a piece of paper. If you do, you eat the paper and don't shit. Here's what we did to Casimir for writing those words in a book. We made him hug a stump in the center of town. Then we strangled him, but we didn't kill him because we had fucking plans. We just strangled the free thinking right out of his ass. Then we took pliers, ripped his tongue out of his head, then beheaded him, then burned his body, his head, his tongue, and his book down to ashes. Then, you thought we were done? Have you met us? We took this dude's ashes, shoved them in a cannon, lit it, and fired them out of the city. What the fuck? We shot ashes out of a cannon. That's Roadrunner Coyote shit. Who has that much hatred in their heart? Who looks at a dude's ashes and goes, I ain't done with you, you son of a bitch? Seems to me, my friends, all through human history, and I do mean all of it, the Dark Ages, the Reagan administration, you know, the Trump administration, all through human history, there have been some people that want to know the answers. Even if it challenges something they already believe. They're that curious. And there's a shitload of people trying to stop them. You could reduce all human history down to 2 sentences. I wonder why, and shut the fuck up. Yeah. How does the mind close? How do we go from extremely curious to thinking you know all the answers? Since my son got here, that's what's been on my mind. I watch his curiosity level. It's so far beyond mine, you know? Everything in front of his face he wants to know about. There's nothing taboo. There's nothing off limits. There's nothing like, I don't want to hear him talk anymore. He fucking wants to know everything. Clouds and trees and rocks and electrical outlets and cat poop. You know, my son wants to know what cat poop tastes like so fucking bad. God, those of you with kids, it's like a Tootsie Roll banquet or something. I don't know what it is. He crawls over there like, right? And I have to be like, that's not for babies. And he's like, bullshit. And I gotta be dead honest with you, my friends. There's a part of me that wants to let him find out. I don't want to kill his curiosity, you know what I mean? That's my job as a parent. The way I see it, when he leaves my home, I want his curiosity to still be ablaze, you know? What happens? What happens to our minds? We start thinking we know everything. Seems to me if you're in this room tonight and you're an adult and you're still curious, you did real good. You realize the level of shit you've been able to navigate? Everywhere you go, people are trying to tell you what the truth is. But the weird thing to me is it's not the truth, it's their truth. You know? Here's my truth for whatever it's worth. The older I get, the less I believe in. Yeah. I start thinking of human beings like this. We just got here. You know what I mean? Literally, historically, human beings have not been here this long, right? We're still in the process of learning. If scientists are correct, and they might not be, they might be dead wrong, but if they're correct, the Big Bang happened 14 billion years ago. That is an enormous fucking number. 14 billion, that's a huge fucking number. I have a public Kentucky education. Let's break 14 billion down. Let's make it palatable to this sponge right here, all right? 14 billion is roughly a shitload of millions. Are we all in agreement? That's a shitload. Okay, right? Give or take a load of shit. Right? Statisticians know we have to allow for error. Right? Okay, if scientists are correct, modern humans, you and I, we appeared on the planet 200,000 years ago. Written history, 5,000 years old. We only been writing shit down 5,000 years. And we've only been using facts to describe our surroundings since August. And all of a sudden we're all walking around thinking we know all the answers. I fucking doubt it. Every time we go into space, look at how much we've learned. Every time we go into the ocean, we've barely discovered anything in the ocean. It's unexplored. The Amazon jungle is being chopped down right now. We're losing it. Every time we go into Tim Hortons' bathroom, look at how much we fucking learned. Every time I go in there, I'm like, Doug's a dick. I didn't know that. Put that down in the book. Human beings are still in the process of collecting information about their surroundings. We formed a belief system and started judging each other before we knew all the facts. Whoops. If you answer a question, any question, and you do not know all the facts that are involved in that, that's called a guess. If you arbitrarily just decide one day that your guess is the truth, that shit's called delusional. Canada applauds. As soon as global warming kicks in, I'm moving here. You know what I mean? I've been here in February and my dick gets real small. As soon as you just believe everything you learned in your church, everything you learned in your little home, everything you learned in your little school is the truth, that is when you yell at a comedian, Jesus Christ does not believe in transgender people. So in Cleveland, Ohio, that man yelled at me. I responded by saying, sir, with all due respect to you, it's not possible for you to know the thoughts of Jesus Christ. It's not possible. I said that to him, knowing enough history in my head and my heart. He's probably going to shoot me. And then at my funeral, one of my comedy buddies will be like, well, he shouldn't have done that. This is our last show here. I want to say to everyone at Yuck's, this was an amazing week. You have a beautiful club, and I loved working with you guys. Where's the hope? That's what Tom straddled me with, right? Where's the hope for humanity? Tom and I argue about that all the time. Is there hope for the United States of America, you know? I have a very good friend named Emily. Emily and I have known each other, right? I'm 43 years old. Emily and I have known each other for like 37 years, right? We've known each other for a very long time, and we are so close. We argue. Emily and I talk on the phone 10, 12 times a week, and we argue with each other, and we hang up on each other. And I don't know if you have friends like that. Our friendship can handle hanging up, throwing the phone, right? Then call back 4 minutes later, continue. You know what I mean? I love that. Emily says things to me I never would have thought of, and it makes me furious and curious. You know? She has a master's degree in philosophy, okay? And I've been to Arkansas. So we are bringing different shit to the table. She's read about it. I've fucking seen it. Emily has no hope for humanity. None. We argue about this all the time. I do. I've seen it. If your definition of hope is there is a chance, there's an opportunity for the United States of America to fix problems and have it work, yes, I have hope. Absolutely. If your definition of hope is we're going to actually do it, fuck no. I wouldn't bet a loony on us. I wouldn't. I've seen our behavior. Historically, it's a bad fucking bet. But if your definition of hope is there is a chance, yeah, all day long. I was in Nebraska. I was doing shows in Nebraska, and I have a different show in a different bar every night of the week. Thursday afternoon, I'm on the interstate. I got all my windows down. I got plenty of time to get where I'm going. I'm enjoying my day, right? And I came up upon this car that was weaving. okay? And I don't mean like, whoops, I dropped my Cheetos kind of shit. We've all done that, where your cell phone slips and it's just kind of a little, this guy's weird as shit. He's doing at least 70, 75, what is that, 120? He's doing about 120, weaving all over 3 lanes of interstate. Weird as shit. He would go over the rumble strip and go back over here over the rumble strip. It was like he was bowling with those bumpers in, you know? And I immediately let off the gas and started backing up like, what the fuck's this dude doing? Drunk piece of shit. You come out here, you're drunk as hell. You don't even care about other people. There's families, there's people that care about their life. Entitlement. That's the problem with the United States. Entitlement. I'm thinking all this stuff in my head, right? And all of a sudden, his car left the interstate. Not on an exit. It was weird as shit. He went 120 through a field in Nebraska. Right? And I went, fuck! Because that is what you say when that happens. And I didn't think about this. I did not have time to think. I pulled the car over, hit the brakes, threw it in park, opened the door, started running. Fucking running through a field. There are people behind me running. People are coming from this way. We're chasing a car. Right? He hit an embankment and stopped. We opened the door. 2 grown men in the car. A lot of blood. Driver's head was on the steering wheel, passed out. And I started to get him out of the car. A guy grabbed me and goes, don't even touch him. He might have a neck injury. We're not supposed to touch people. I was like, shit, I've heard that. Yeah, absolutely. Call someone on the phone. That's a lot of blood. My cell phone's in my car. Get someone on the phone. The guy from the other side of the car goes, I smell gas. It's leaking. That's gasoline. We have to get these men out of this car, right? So we're like, fuck, careful, careful. We lift them up, carry them far away from the car, lay them down the field. Ambulances pull up, put both men on stretchers, loaded them in, gone. Then there's 12 human beings, total strangers, in a field in Nebraska. Like, how you doing? Awkward as shit, right? It felt so weird. We're just standing out there, right? And the one guy said, man, I hope they're all right. Don't know what it was about that. It's a simple sentence. I hope they're all right. Immediately, all of us started talking, like we've known each other since kindergarten. We're walking back to our cars like, I hope they're all right too. That dude was breathing. No, I'm not kidding. When they lifted him up, I saw his chest go up and down. If he's breathing, he's got a chance. Did you see the other guy? No, I didn't see him at all either. That was crazy. I hope they both make it, yeah? Yeah, man, absolutely. Hey, nice to meet you too. Take care, man. Hey, drive safe, you know? Don't be fucking around out there, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to run again. And I walked back over to my car, and I sat down, and I began to start it up. But all of a sudden, I stopped, because it occurred to me, when that car left the interstate, none of us knew anything about those people. We didn't know if they were male or female, black or white, atheist, Christian. They could have been Mormons, for fuck's sake. We didn't know shit about them. We saw a car leave the interstate. 12 humans immediately started working. And nobody was going, I hope they're not gay. I've written a closer that I'm too out of shape to do. Right? No one said anything. We saw a car leave the interstate. 12 human beings just ran to help. That's the best part of a human. Whatever that is, man, whatever that tiny little piece is, that's the best part of us. I called Emily on the phone immediately, right? I was like, you don't have hope for humanity? Fucking listen to this. Right? I told her the whole story. I was like, you drunk piece of shit? How do I know if he was drunk? He might have had a heart attack. What the fuck do I really know? Next thing you know, I'm running, and you know how much I hate that shit, right? I told her the whole damn story. And at the end of it, she goes, damn, those 2 men had guardian angels watching over them. And I deleted her from Facebook. Guardian ass angel. You know what the truth is? Let's be honest. I do not know if guardian angels exist. How could I know that? I don't even give a shit. People say, does God exist? I do not care if God exists or not. You and I taking care of each other, even if you disagree, is hope. Thank you for being here tonight, everybody. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, guys.
He worked his ass off for you, man. How about keep that going for Tom Simmons?